Hey, what's up, guys? Hope everybody's doing well and having a great day. In this video, we're going to Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, right up here in the northeastern part of Oklahoma. You're going to see some incredible video footage sent in by Elizabeth of what looks like a large, and I mean absolutely massive, trident in the sky. Looks like this, what you see right here. I couldn't believe it either until I got to looking at this thing closer and closer. The video is completely legitimate, but what's in the sky is absolutely remarkable. We're going to come back and take a closer look at that here in just a moment. Also in this video, I've got a brand new picture slideshow, new sky phenomena photos sent in from all around the world. But first, over here at the website, quick look at the Schumann resonance. And you can see in the last 24 hours, there's been some activity, a major spike lasting nearly 6 hours long. Coming over here to the USGS, looking at the earthquake situation we were talking about in yesterday's video near Elgin, South Carolina. There's been yet another earthquake. Within a few minutes of me doing the video about the 3.5 earthquake that occurred near Elgin, there was a 3.6. Yet another very shallow quake coming in at about a mile and a half deep. So the activity continues in South Carolina with regard to the ongoing earthquake swarm. Looking at the Lake Mead reservoir situation, the water continues a slow decrease in elevation down to 1,043.13, down 0.09 from the day before. And you can see by looking at the outflow totals for the last 2 weeks, the outflow is being decreased just a little bit to kind of offset some of the water loss at Lake Mead, because the inflow has been much lower than the outflow here recently. But there is an effort going on to try to conserve water at the reservoir, and we are all very glad to see that. I want to take you guys now back to Oklahoma. We're going to northeastern Oklahoma. The video footage you're about to see was sent in by Elizabeth. The video was taken at 6:36 a.m. back on May 28th of 2022. Here we go. This is what she noticed in the early morning sky from northeastern Oklahoma. This thing right here. When we get to taking a closer look at this thing, and this is unedited, I haven't done anything to this video. This is exactly how Elizabeth sent the video to me. I do insert an airplane that you're going to see fly in the field of view here in just a moment. And the reason I insert it now, I wanted to talk about the size, or at least the potential size of this thing compared to the jet airplane that seemed to fly into the field of view, maybe investigating whatever it was up here in the sky. Look how small this jet appears compared to this thing here that's at a much higher altitude than the jet. The jet's down here below the clouds. This thing here is well up above the clouds, actually in the clouds, and the jet's down here below. So this thing is probably 100 times larger than the jet you just saw. But anyway, as some of the clouds kind of clear out of the way, and this thing is very slowly moving from the upper left to the lower right. If I were to put this in fast forward, you can see that it is indeed moving across the field of view. She did an excellent job holding the video camera steady. A lot of times when we see things unexpectedly in the sky, we're doing this stuff on the fly. We don't have tripods with us, but she did a great job. Here you can see the similarities to Neptune's trident. See there, the big three-pronged pitchfork. Look at that. Got a prong there, and a prong there. And again, this thing's about 100 times larger than the jet you just saw that entered the field of view. And I have a feeling that jet entered the field of view because this thing, whatever it may be, was detected on radar. Absolutely huge. Doesn't fit in with anything else in the early morning sky. Again, this was around 6:30 in the morning on May 28th of 2022. This is out of northeastern Oklahoma. Unbelievable. See the very distinct shape there? Got a left side, a center, and a right-hand side. Shaped like a big three-pronged fork. Here comes the jet. This is at original speed. See how fast it's moving? That thing dwarfs that jet right there. It's absolutely huge. I wouldn't even begin to know how big that thing is. Probably a couple thousand feet, 3,000 feet wide. I mean, it's just simply massive. It's way up here in the clouds, and the jet's actually closer to the viewer down here. The jet's much closer to the viewer, and this thing's up here in the clouds. And now the clouds kind of take over a little bit. As the jet went by, you can see this thing kind of tucked in behind the clouds. You don't see as much of it. Now we're going to zoom in even closer. Starts out as something very dark. You can't really tell what's going on here because of the thick cloud cover. And then once the clouds kind of clear out a little bit, you can see the three distinctive sections of this large, what appears to be a craft, sitting in the sky above northeastern Oklahoma early in the morning on May 28th of 2022. See, they're starting to be revealed slowly but surely as the clouds are moving out of the way. And again, this thing is moving this direction here, kind of at an angle from left to right, and it's moving very, very slowly through the early morning sky. See how it's kind of getting that prong shape to it, three-prong fork. Reminded me of Neptune's trident. That's what it looks like without the long shaft. Just unbelievable. Never seen anything like this. And I've seen a lot of, here you go, I compared the trident to what we see here in the sky. And that's the only thing I could come up with. It does look like that. At least it has similarities. Here's another view of this thing and then the trident. And they do have similarities, absolutely. And this thing's huge. Again, probably 100 times larger than the jet that just flew in the proximity of this thing, probably checking in on whatever this thing was up in the sky, possibly showed up on radar. And the reason I paused it here is because of this feature and this feature here. Looked like maybe two large lights that weren't necessarily on, or if they were, they weren't very bright, on either side of the center of this fork-shaped craft. Looked like Neptune's trident. Here's the jet right here. This is the original video, and you can see the jet is much smaller than whatever that thing was in the sky above northeastern Oklahoma. This was a great observation by Elizabeth, who was looking in the sky early that morning and happened to notice this thing up in the sky that clearly didn't fit in with the rest of the clouds. Everything else looks like just normal random clouds that you would see on any given day. This thing here is a completely different color. This is enhanced here, but the original color, it looks like a very dark gray or black. Clearly obvious. I mean, if there weren't any cloud cover at all, you would have an excellent view of this thing, but the clouds kind of gave this thing a little bit of camouflage. And using the jet as a comparison tool, this thing was much, much larger than the jet that flew by. I think the jet was doing some recon. It went by very, very quickly, maybe checking in on whatever this thing was in the sky. On the morning of May 28th at 6:36 a.m., video footage taken by Elizabeth in the early morning hours of May 28th. Here it is again, another comparison. I inserted the trident over here on the right, and I actually turned it upside down, and you can see this here has three prongs, much like the trident of Neptune. It's the only thing I could compare it to, guys. See it right there? Pretty good view of it there as the clouds moved out of the way. And this segment here of the video is, of course, enhanced. And the reason I use this particular technique here is because it brought forward more of the color, at least the darker color of this object that was in the sky high above northeastern Oklahoma, observed from Broken Arrow by Elizabeth. Great job, Elizabeth. Thanks for sharing. Also in this video, I've got a brand new picture slideshow, new sky phenomena photos sent in from all around the world. Starting off with an impressive shelf cloud / possibly a roll cloud. Looks like it's along the coast somewhere. Video footage and photos sent in by Tom B. Photo here by Wayne S. out of Lincoln, Nebraska. Storm cloud here looking very ominous there for a moment. Almost looks like it was getting ready to turn into a possible tornado. Photo here by Rob and Kara out of Ashland, Oregon. Sky filled with what looked like gravity waves, some sort of louver-looking clouds in the sky above Oregon. And this next photo was sent in by Polenta out of Sacramento, California, who couldn't help but notice this void in the clouds above Sacramento that just happened to be in the shape of a nearly perfect triangle. Another very impressive roll cloud photo sent in by Hennig K out of Texas. This one here spanned as far as he could see in both directions. Another photogenic sky photo here by Dina out of Louisiana. Look like cobwebs, very thick cobwebs in the sky above Louisiana. Excellent photos, guys. Keep them coming. If you guys have any photos you'd like to share, you can send those to reports at MrMBB333.com. Thanks for watching. Have a super day and be safe out there.